We're back now to talk books. This weekend here in Washington, the Library of Congress celebrated its 15th National Book Festival. This one marking the 200th anniversary of the library's acquisition of Thomas Jefferson's personal collection. The event featured more than 170 authors, and one of the big draws, delighting fans of all ages, was Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin, who left his footprints on the surface of the moon in 1969. Buzz Aldrin is here with us now to talk about the next step for the U.S. space program in the mission to Mars and his newly released children's book, Welcome to Mars. Also joining us is Pulitzer Prize winner David McCullough, who wrote The Wright Brothers, about Wilbur and Orville's historic first flight. Rachel Swaby joins us. She's the author of Headstrong, 52 Women Who Changed Science and the World. And Walter Isaacson is the author of The Innovators, How a Group of Hackers, Geniuses, and Geeks Created the Digital Revolution. Buzz, I want to start with you. You have a children's book.
I do.
Why?
I've had a couple before, but this one, the other writer would understand. This is so fantastic an explanation at the level of comprehension of middle schools. I learned something that Marianne taught me. She followed the vision of mine very, very closely. And I can build off of this very nicely.
Yeah. David McCullough, I want to ask you, in the Wright Brothers, you said it's a truly American story. What is it about this that is so, about the Wright Brothers, that's so American?
Well, the fact that they seemed to come into the world with few advantages. They grew up in a house that had no running water, no indoor plumbing, no electricity, no telephone. And Orville, the younger brother, years later was asked if he agreed that this was an example of how far someone with no advantages can go in an American life. And he said, well, that's not true. He said, we grew up with the most important advantage anybody can have. We grew up in a home where intellectual curiosity was encouraged and stimulated. And the fact that they never went to college seems also a burden for them. But the truth was that they also grew up in a house that was full of books, and their father and mother stressed that reading and learning to use the English language were essential to a full life and to have purpose in your life. I think that, and the purpose of the country in those times, that era, between, let's say, the late 19th century and 1910, or up to the time of the First World War, was progress on all levels. And that's different from today. Today is more protection. And that's, you have to understand the time in which people live as well as where they came from.